everybody. Happy Monday. Let's get right to it. Today, May 23rd. Starting around 12 o'clock. I keep kind of finding my mornings push and push until it's not 11:30. It's like 12 o'clock. I'll make a decision on that really soon if we just go to 12 o'clock and say 12 o'clock. Then if I'm 11:50, I'm early. Anyway, great course on Saturday. Great session. Just take care of a little risk disclaimer for everybody. And want to show where Harmonic Trader members can access that material. Go to Gold Members page, and it is in the live Harmonic Trading session recordings. With the question and answers, we went like 3 hours. Material was about 2 hours. And I'll go to some concepts going forward with what we discussed there, and then try to cut up maybe some sections as like a brief reference. But the course, I think it was mostly new, and we really went away from just the identification. Actually, really more so than anything, what's happening immediately after execution. That was the gist of the takeaway I hope everyone got. And again, just trying to push it further so that we go from analysis to decisions and live positions. Ultimately, that's what it's all about. The software is doing most of the work, most of the identification work. Probably will be doing most of it very soon. But let's start with Bitcoin today on daily chart. Let me go there, not the 4 hour. Further we get along since this crab completed, the more we want to pay attention to all the numbers on this chart relative to this pattern. So this is Bitcoin futures, and today was probably the most uneventful Monday open in a long time. Ever since we hit the 1618 off the March extension prior low, basically looking like this. It's just a big 1618 for 2022 to really simplify it so that we know what we're looking at. And that's 25,540. That's probably the most important number in crypto right now. We do have some lower numbers going back to retest prior support around 22.5. We got to see what this does this week. The fact that we hit that number, stalled, kind of building. Are we going to do a type 1 reaction straight to 34,184? We're close. We're close. I would look for a 3-bar breakout, in particular with a close above essentially the 4-day range. You need a close above 31,000, quite frankly, but anything above 30,700 would be promising. Maybe you get that today. You're only 400 away from that, and you need to close there, above there, in about 7-8 hours. It's possible. This is where a situation like this, where it's wavering in the zone. Tell me what Amplified HSI are doing. Amplified RSI is doing a lot more today than it was 2 or 3 days ago. That's actually okay, good for a reaction. I think the price is yet to move though, and HSI looks like it's going to run up to the overbought on this move. No check back, and you're not going to link it up with the completion of the pattern. So my guess is this is already in a type 1 move. You're going to do it without confirmation, and we will go to target 1, 34,184 soon, very soon. If we are terminal bar plus 7, which we are, you got 22 days maximum. I would think that it would happen within the next 7 to 10. And it's, a 10, 15% move. Look for it something like this where amplified comes up. And this is the indicator I would be watching right now because you do have a W formation that has taken shape. The green line will go on when you hit the 50. Take a look at this dotted line. A lot of people have asked me, what does that dotted line mean? That is to mark the lowest reading of the last prior structure, complex structure, that is. Essentially, that indicator low should be it for a long time. You should not see any back test, retest, rollover. This is in a great spot where now, even if you can get to the 50 and then come back later, both of those would link up with type 1, type 2 scenarios over the next 6 weeks, 2 months. Appreciate that. Big shout out to everybody in the chat. Thanks for those that made it on Saturday, those that are members, those that are part of the Discord. Join the Discord. So if you want to get like some free chunks from that webinar, I'll be posting them in the Discord, some for free. I'm going to try to reserve a lot of the new premium content for gold, silver members. Again, more on that this week, but I've already started talking about it. I will direct people to pages at the end of today's podcast where to go. But thank you. So Stara, thank you. Snipes, what's happening? Legacy, Riley, Harmonics, what's going on? David V, how are you? Thank you. Reef, excellent. Thanks, everybody. Appreciate you showing up. And we had a great crew on Saturday for what was not really easy information. It was kind of dry, quite frankly, unless you know what's behind the patterns. And I think things like talking about the individual terminal bar. Here's something actually that we talked about, and we can apply it to Bitcoin right now. On Saturday, we talked about just measuring terminal bar and within the zone. Then I want to do just a simple 113, 1618 spread to complement the zone. And that looks like this. Yep, let me remove this. There you go. Now, I've done this before, but it's something that I think helps with stop losses. A lot of people have been asking, okay, how much do I risk? Do I risk the whole hop level? We covered that on Saturday, and basically it all depends on where confirmation is and where terminal bar is. We know right now there's no confirmation, no HSI here. So we're still in a reaction, and everything should be treated as a reaction. As I said, if you're going to try to trade them, requires really tight, aggressive management strategies. And I personally said don't go with anything if it doesn't have confirmation for this very reason. We'll have to keep an eye on it, but we can look at the individual bar, terminal bar, this whole terminal bar range, and then extend it down to a 113 or 1618. Usually that gives you something between the hop and the 1618. All right, but for the whole move and for everything, I probably don't need much to see how this acts at like 22.5, 22.4. If it's going to be on this final retest, you take out 22.5 in an aggressive fashion, then there's probably still more to go. With that little terminal bar calculation right now, that's your absolute floor. Should not exceed 22.455 at all. So if you're looking for the end of the bear market, it has to be at 22,455. Not to mention some of the other stuff. The prior bullish pattern going back to last year, all the way there, 22,542. All of that lining up at 22,500. A lot of measurements. Probably still need to do 30 days, maybe even 60 days, going up and back down before that's sealed. Just know anything that's reactive in Bitcoin will give you, and I threw that out the window a couple weeks ago, but I do think a lot of the altcoins are way oversold. Not all of them, but there are a number that are clearly oversold, stabilizing at all-time 886 resets. And if Bitcoin can pop, it still might go all the way back down to 22.5. I want everyone to be mindful of that. We are just so close to realizing the break out of the zone on a type 1 reaction that you could shoot that gap up to target 1 at 34,184, give crypto a 10-15% rally, and a lot of altcoins will pop. And here's kind of the one of the day, which is LRC. And this has been at an all-time 886 that we talked about. I mentioned this in the last few weeks. KNC, LRC, REN, even Cardano to a lesser extent. Engine Coin, that's another one that's starting to run. Here's what LRC looks like on the 4-hour. I think the daily was better. Yeah, the daily is just this extended. Well, you do have a bat pattern. But the all-time 886, let's go back there. Again, that's really what this is all about. And that's around 40 cents. So that low should hold. This should climb out of here week over week, even if it does a minimum 382 bounce. That's all the way buck 80. Something like that. Your target one off of that pattern also is at 189. 382, 180. Not saying that's going there. That would be your maximum objective. I think you would want to look at LRC as something like, can we get back up to that prior last pivot? And that's it, still at $1.10, you know, almost a double from the current levels. Break it down like that. It's a better way to go. Couple more. Let me I don't know why this keeps coming into my crypto sphere, but Hex, I don't know. I really don't know about people in general. I don't. So a couple people sent me notes because they thought I was dissing Hex, and I wanted to show you, just break it down of what the deal on Hex is, because you might have an opportunity. It's still lower. So here's the Gartley ever since that took shape back in late April, early May. I bring this up because what I was attacked for was that there was supposed to be some new Pulse network thing. And I said, no, look for something like this. Type 1 down to 382, then come back up, something like that. Well, what happened? It's a straight down, straight through target 1, no confirmation to pull you out of the trade here in any way. Not to mention, look, the prior Gartley, that's basically put a floor under the first collapse. So when it went from 50 to 15, yeah, found support there for a while. Went sideways. Coming lower, more like the 9 cent level, does make sense. does make sense. So I heard there was a delay. So on what they were their new release, which is okay. Maybe you get your look for hex. And I say this because the project doesn't matter, and good luck on the project. Who it's the guy's a character. He is a character. I don't know. It's not my style. He's a character though, and but his crypto's going down. And it's not. I have no ill will towards the guy, although I could see how, some people. I don't know. These guys said a lot of. I got a lot of notes about him. I won't even say his name, but this crypto in particular. So whatever this is, that's fine. Again, for what we do, we want to focus on levels. We want to tune it all out. We don't want to take sides on anybody or anything. We want to take our own side, which is straight up the middle, and assess the opportunity. As I said on Saturday, a binary, it's either yes or no. It's either bullish or bearish. And I don't want narratives are going to kill you. Complacency is going to kill you. Okay, but for those people, look, with what Harmonics were calling back in May, and you got an extended type 1 move, I would look somewhere between 5 cents and 8.9 cents. You're almost there. I think you hit 8.97. You did. So you're relatively close. But I think you could go as much as 5 cents. Folks, that's a 75% correction off of this pattern back from May. Okay? And I'm sorry, where would you like to put $1,000 in this thing if you want to really speculate and think this thing's going to make you rich? Take $1,000 here and get like 5,000 shares. Or 10, I could get 10,000 shares, or 5 cents, I'll get 20,000 for my $1,000. That's from a pure greedy trader. I'm a greedy trader in terms of, for myself, I want to make the most money possible. I don't care about your story. I don't care about whatever. Just line up my levels. And if this is a great project, great. It's going to be fantastic at the hop level with confirmation. Where's that level? Doesn't really matter. Actually, I mean, the price does matter, but if we don't hit the level, we don't have confirmation, okay. But at least now, going from 20 cents, and the group of people that did, were kind of like sent me emails, or a few people on Twitter. This is the poster child for why you don't buy the story. Because the Pulse Chain Net thing that people were talking about was supposed to come out. I had no idea about it. And I just want people to understand that this is so common. And it's nothing personal, whether you like the guy or don't like the guy. It's just price action. And that's what we do here. And I want to be levels. I want my levels to be the sharpest. I want my confirmations to prevent drawdown at all costs, to not hold bags. And that's a prime example. And so if you believe in this thing or whatever, and you're looking for the opportunity, it's coming. But it's still probably, like I said, maybe 5 cents, but definitely under 8.9. What's going on, everybody? Hey, Greg, thanks. Yeah, Laser. I just want to make it clear. What's up, Crypto Hoarder? The man himself. And thanks, Mr. Lodak. Appreciate that. If we're going to learn anything from the last 6 months on crypto, that it's got to be said that the measurements are going to kill narrative all the time. Do you want to really buy, now that you know what you know between crypto and harmonics? Tell me the next time you're in a 314 advance, okay? A 3.14 advance, you're going to buy that. at a 314. Or conversely, when you break your 382 trailing stop, that you don't say to yourself there's a problem there. So that's has to be part of what everyone is going through now, that we have to take away immediately, apply it going forward, and still line up everything. I mean, measure, line up everything, and nail it down to the price bar, which is what we were talking about on Saturday. I mean, that Gartley on Hex is just go to school on that one. 1 minute, 1 minute. Okay, one or two more, and I want to just update, those other ones we've been mentioning. Engine coin, folks, this is getting ready to pop. This is all-time 886. Yeah. And you can still go through. I've been saying this for how long? 2 weeks probably. And you're still just kind of sitting there on a lot of these where you're back testing, you're consolidating, you're trying to get into some kind of development off of this low. This is that window where you're at the measurement. The effective whole measured scenario has completed, yet it doesn't feel real. It feels like you're moving in slow motion, that maybe, in 3, 5, 10 weeks from now, when we're making a run at the 382 at 220, 230, let me fix that, something like that, 230, you're saying, what were we doing at 60, 70 cents? I think that's what Engine Coin is, and I would be more inclined even to ease into it. You need to see a one weekly candle close above a prior week, and that's could be this week above 77 cents. But a lot of it's there. A lot of these are huge. I mean, here talk about S coins that are turning nicely. These are the ones that can yield big moves. Here's Chiliz. Back-to-back situations. This has taken the better part of 10 days now, but that's moving in a really beautiful slow motion path. Confirmation came in 3 days after the fact, and it's been a steady climb ever since. We're looking for 17.57 cents. Out of this low at XA, it was 11.2. I said this last week, said it Saturday, I'll say it again. Think percentage moves. A 5-cent move on an 11-cent market. Okay, you're talking close to 50%. And that's a substantial move, even if you had $500 in that thing. Even if you had $100, I got to dial down, the levels more realistically. I do own a bunch of that, and it's a lot more than $500. But my plan is to go to target 1. And if we get to target 1 and we don't follow through, or we get a bearish signal or whatever, I'm scalping. Give me the 6. Give me 6 cents and we go. That's like LRC, as I showed you. LRC was one where that's in a really nice spot. Here's the other one is KNC. And I would get KNC's coming back right now. We hit an HSI on the top side. I'd be looking at this for another opportunity. It's not there yet, but it's definitely one to have on the radar. Matic, folks. So Matic, look at this. We talked about a couple things on Saturday. One of them was looking at those situations where the price action just sails through the zone. And how do we distinguish whether something that goes too far is still an opportunity? This Matic chart on the daily, well, it did go too far. Initially, came all the way down through the hop. But look, you hit XA, no confirmation. You hit the hop, still no confirmation, strong candles. All right, finally, 2 days later, you hit a bullish candle with confirmation. You're 3, 4, 7, 10, 11 now. Now you're doing a 3-bar thing. Now a nice little close above 68 cents on Matic is going to seal a 3-bar reversal. And we have not had that in this bullish zone until now. Those are the signs. Take a quick look. Here's something from our course. I'll flash some of this up there. Where'd it go? There you go. This is one of the slides we used from Saturday, but looking for those candles at the point where they break out. You get some kind of setup where you break out of multiple bar resistance or break down out of a bearish zone as the structural formation that kind of seals the deal. Because once that goes, you should see the follow through. We could get that tonight on Matic. I'm not long that yet, but I am closely looking, and I'll be letting folks know. I could be getting long that this afternoon. Whoa, natural gas. Here's another one. This is Super S. So please know, S for speculative, S for other things too, but I need all the data. Yeah, this is a full 886 on scale, but there should be, there's a big pattern on this. We got a bearish Gartley on the 4-hour, but there was a crab pattern on this one. I'll come back to this. Let me look again. Take a look here. Yeah, let me go to Zcash. There you go. This had a bat pattern on the daily and kind of a delayed HSI. You had two triggers. First one there, you trigger, but then you check back, ugly fashion, straight on through. You could have been stopped out. That could have been a setup to take and then get stopped out. Take a look at this. But do you take another shot on Zcash with this secondary HSI? Keep an eye on this one because like the rest of them, we have yet to really break out. We do have a 3-bar breakout that happened on the confirmation candle right here on Zcash. And you're looking to go to target 1 at 150. So that one, yeah, the privacy coins. Where's Monero? This will be the other. Yeah, the weekly on Monero, check that out. Oh, it got down to that 135. Incredible butterfly. And this is a type 2. That happened so quickly. That's what it was. It dropped that at 135 on the crash. Let me take a look at that for a second on the 4-hour time frame. When was that? Nice deep crab right out of here. 178. You're trading 198. It's a little too far gone right now. Maybe what we do for Monero, like the rest of them, this kind of looks like Bitcoin too, where you're popping so far out of the zone where 215, another $20 from current levels to hit target one, and then maybe that's what we do this week, and then come back down for the retest. Let me look at HNT. Sure, I'll look at HNT. I need to get over to crude oil. Other markets. No, I don't know what this is. Here, I'll tell you why. $886 all time. That's it. That's what that is. I think you can basically apply this model to all of them. $886 on that one is like 540. Not there yet. I think all of them could be 886s. It just really is. You're deeply oversold, no doubt. Some are going to take longer to get out of here than others. Some could go to new lows from here while others try to bounce. I would look at, kind of separate those. The ones we've looked at, I think they're pretty representative of possible 30%, 50% movers. So that's what I'm looking for. I want to look for deeply, deeply oversold things. And the ones sitting at all-time 886s are a great bet. You know, that's a really great way to be looking for structural, long-term, whatever. Here's Stellar Lumens on Coinbase. Just another beautiful crab pattern early in development. 12 cents, folks. It came back. You're 13.6 now. Don't let that get away, because this is probably going to go do one, maybe up to target 2 at 18, and then come back down one more time, and that would be it. But this is early development here. Stop going down. That's a crash low. The fact that you capitulated at, what was it, 10 cents? That's you're defending that. Percentage wise, still something like that can move 30, 40%. I think you got to think like that. This will be slow though. That one will be slow. There's other ones that'll move faster. Let me go to the markets. But keep your eye on Bitcoin tonight, folks. You need to close, futures need to close above that 30,700 level. Absolutely need to. Beyond that, the rest is just a reaction. And tradable, but you have to be in and out within days. I don't think there's any position that you'd want to hold for more than, I don't know, a week, 10 days. If you're holding more than 10 days, maybe you're holding too long, or you're not in the right spot. Something to think about. Okay, last week, boy, it looked like this thing was going to fail. Came back, retested 11,848. And I said the close, we have to close under 11,848 for this to fail. It has not. You could argue that Friday it was super close. The Friday close was 11,840. But still close enough. Again, you're juggling this hop level. There's still no confirmation. Look, HSI is not linking up anywhere with this zone. So even if it can hold here, you're only dealing with a real brief reaction, maybe just some sideways movement. Maybe something like this and then back down at best. Couple of things we mentioned in that space. Again, the key markets everyone needs to pay attention to. Apple, all the way down here at under 147, 146, which is really the first target off of the crab pattern. Oops, sorry. So this is the crab that we talked about from, I don't know, last fall. Essentially looking for 146 to get hit. And you went down to 135, which is target 2. That has to be the low. You really don't want to see this thing go under these prior lows, and if Apple can come back to 135, it's probably a place to start looking. As ugly as this is, you very well could get something like this. Come back down, and then back up, and there's your 1618, and then down. Don't let this recent calamity fool you. These are way overstretched. You're hitting major targets. 135 on Apple is the biggest of targets. That should end what really has been an extended reaction since December, but should be over. Here's Microsoft. Okay, quick note. I have to say, really quick shout out to my best buddy, my son Lucas, who's now listening. Thank you. I think he was asking me to give him a shout out this morning. So, hi Lucas. Are you listening to your mother? Are you doing what you need to be told? I will see you when you get home. Okay, there's my shout out. Let's look at Microsoft on the daily, folks. Coming down to nice 1618 up for the year. And really quick, why 1618? Why here at 241? We're trading 260 right now. We fell shy, but one of the reasons why this 1618 works is because it's a last-ditch exhaustive structure. And that would make sense for this deep crab to come together down here. Maybe it happens in the next month as a short-term ending point for everything. There's a third, the market cap clipped off of Microsoft, hundreds of billions of dollars. Well, maybe we get that type 1, bang, come back, type 2. It has been, I know a lot of these statistics have been circulated around through the media recently, but the Dow Jones Industrial Average has not been down 8 weeks in a row since the Great Depression. And the current 30% haircut on Nasdaq, we haven't seen this but 2 times, okay, in the last 35 years. 3 times in the last 35 years. So be aware of how severe this thing is at the moment, and that if we can come down and finally get some patterns in all this craziness, these would be the first things to look for. And even if they fail, at least we're not too early. Waiting for the patterns to complete will keep you out of trouble until further notice. We'll stick with the patterns. But Microsoft, just amazing devastation in the last 6 months. 340, go down to 260. That's a sizable chunk. One or two more. The big one, at least in the chip space, NVIDIA. We could look at Intel as well. All right, getting down there. Still haven't registered on the weekly chart. I think this is pretty interesting when you're looking at all the semis. They're deeply oversold, but they're still in that extreme. Until that pops out, and this thing could spend a couple more weeks there, I would not expect anything more than what has been happening since the end of the March peak, which is a serial decline. This has been serial, as in straight bar over bar pattern of lower highs, lower lows every week. Except for, well, there's one, but no, the lower closes. That's until you can get something on NVIDIA. NVIDIA is probably one of the strongest of them all. You're still a few more weeks into this. Go to June. Could very well happen. AMD. All right, AMD did check back a couple weeks ago. I thought there was a pattern here, though. Yeah, daily. So there's a bat pattern, a 1-year bat pattern off of last year's lows. Nice formation. Forget everything that we're having to deal with at the moment. But I would say, okay, let's look for something under the 886, under 93.39, which is basically where we are right now, for target one move up to 119.46. No confirmation yet. What's HSI look like? Not there. Not there. Last confirmation was actually all the way back here. But take a look at where's terminal bar. I have to expand this. There's terminal bar. Where's HSI? That's what we talked about on Saturday of getting that sequence. So interestingly enough, the HSI signal is right before terminal bar. There's confirmation, there's terminal bar. I would still be looking at this, but we want terminal bar, then HSI. No surprise, this is like a delayed reaction response. That little difference can mean a lot. But we don't have anything. HSI is nowhere to be found yet. Let's keep an eye on AMD. That's like the whole ETF. Here's the SMH. There you go. Where's the SMH? I think it was a week. Maybe this is a weekly. No, SMH, my fault. No pattern. HSI on SMH. Oversold, still in the oversold area. Again, like NVIDIA. Until that comes out, just let this go. If that had checked out like Friday or even today, it would have been a much better scenario. But because no confirmation, it's still a problem. Let's go over to crude oil, folks. Are we above or below 100? We're above. Going sideways, but taking a big pause. After hitting that all-time 886, there you go. Nothing up here yet, although we're up today on XLE and a lot of stocks. There's the 4-hour time frame. Hitting a bat pattern for this week. Keep an eye on this. This is probably going to stay sideways until June. Grind higher, but I would be looking for somewhere back in this area for your next opportunity. Nat gas is up again today after not doing much this morning. There you go. Let's go to the hourly. $9 has been our target all along. So we're back at $9. That's been our short-term target. No doubt 15 is absolutely our ultimate retest for this move. We're looking for the 1618 off of that deep crab from 2006 as at 1489, 14888. We're at 851 at the moment. We're going to take a pause here, or are we going to just go straight up to 10? Let's keep an eye on what happens between now and really early June. June's a pretty active month for nat gas, and then you start getting into hurricane season. So if we're already here before hurricane season, let's see what happens. XLE, that's up. That's like just looking like it wants to do a full retest up at 95 here. Only 83 at the moment. Straight up. I mean, that's amazing. That at 83 at the moment, you just keep buying that until it gets to 95. I don't think this is going to pull back. It'll stay in this uptrend until further notice, and that goes for all the stocks. You just wait every week or so, every 2 weeks. We'll get a pullback and then it'll go again. This kind of stuff. Pullback and it goes. So pullback and it goes. Pullback goes. And this is bunching up on the top side of the channel where we're not going to get much except maybe a midline retracement to 75, 77 area. And I don't think this is going to hang around much longer. Another month or two of this kind of bunched up action, and then we should go again. 95 is the target on XLE. Let's do gold really quick. In fact, I'm going to wrap up with gold. Gold had a bat pattern, folks, and it exploded. Remember last week? Here's the bat coming right at you. Back-to-back patterns. Real impulsive, but look at what happened here. Terminal bar. HSI followed by a perfect check back. And now, shoot the gap, 1897 on a type 1. This could take all summer long as well, where we do beautiful type 1 off of that bat pattern, come on back, 1790, and then that would be it. And then maybe make another run into the fall up to, and we should retest 2068. Those are your levels. If you're worried about gold, I wouldn't really be too concerned because you're scraping the downside level of that 886 and a couple other metrics off the top, but that should be about it. You're going to go into a 30 bar reaction. I think there was something we looked at. Somebody mentioned GDX, gold miners. Yeah. There's a shark or a bat here. Shark. There you go. Just like that. Again, it's another great pattern that we will probably use for the next several months because you're in a type 1 reaction with confirmation, gets you up to target 1, 35.63, and then we'll look for something up here to stall out, and it turns into a 5-0, come back down to 29.66. Even if gold does that, remains range bound like this into the summer, it's still fine. Your secondary move after all of that happens, wherever that may launch from, is the big one you should be looking for. If you're looking for the continuation of the bull market in gold, it's probably later this summer after we do reaction, come back, retest, reversal. A lot going on where at least the patterns have set up. Now we need to see some confirmation. We need to see some price action begin to kind of really assert itself. Really, let me dial back to Nasdaq. Yeah, here we are under 12,000. This is, let's see what happens. I mean, something's going to happen to get this thing off the floor. And I just don't think it's, there you go. That's a 1 minute. Oh, sorry, let's go to the 60. Remember, 11,848. 11,848 is the number. Okay, there on the 60-minute time frame. This is probably a good chart to be looking at. Big shark pattern. Terminal bar around 11.7. Friday got a flush out. Look at that hop level. I mean, that's amazing. At 11.562. So I guess you take out last week's lows, it's over. That's the only thing you need to pay attention to. You've already threatened it. You threatened it last week, no doubt. You threatened to essentially collapse the market. I mean, Nasdaq was ready to do a 40 to 50% drop. Seriously. And it still may. If we don't hold this hop level at 11,848, there's nothing here. You have to, been saying this, you have to go all the way back to a higher time frame, weekly time frame, and just go off your next set of calculations. But there's only two numbers underneath this pattern, either on a weekly or daily, but it's the 618 at 11.7 or 886 at 7,800. And it'll shoot this gap quickly within 2-3 months. And that could be, that could be it. I want to see what happens here. How it, does it hold the hop? Can it, whether it fails it now or eventually, you will see that mark the continuation of the whole move. And there's nothing looking left, unfortunately. There's nothing but, a massive acceleration to the downside. Friday was like, saved it. It was remarkable how they brought it back Friday because it looked like it was absolutely going to just collapse. Friday, or was that Thursday? Yeah, I guess Thursday in the morning. And then try to bring it back Friday. But still, we're up here against a whole bunch of things, and the 12,000 psychological level starting to really weigh on people's minds. If you can even get back above there, we have some short-term patterns on Nasdaq at 12,050 essentially, which says any test above 12,000 should be short-lived. If you can't get out of this hole and we roll over again and take out this range, this prior low, at least I mean, under 11.5, I would say it's It's already in jeopardy. Anything under 11.7 is a real challenge, but you keep making a lower low and bouncing back up. There's only one or two more of these, and you're going to bust it out, and you are going to keep going down. Whereas your short-term 5-minute pattern from last week, that's capping resistance. If we weren't to get up above 12,100 by the close today, I would say that is a problem. And we go back down and we just keep pushing lower. Even with the historic number of days down and percentage already lost, that means you're just in the middle of the move. You're not inning 7, inning 8. That's how important this hop level is for the whole market and Nasdaq and everything else. Let's see. We'll come back tomorrow, folks. See where it's at. I'll catch Ethereum and total crypto market cap next session. I'll do a couple more little flashback things from our course on from Saturday. And again, everybody can get in touch with us. Get to the gold members section or silver members. You both have access to the same library. And then basic members, that's where everything starts. And if you did not get with the software and you purchase the software, you get access to that course and the other courses. I made the first course, which was 18 months ago. That's available for free, everyone. So if you're a basic member, just know Saturday was advanced. We really didn't even talk about patterns. But the place to get caught up is on the blog. Go to the resource page for the seminar and check out these 3 sessions, please. I think if everyone got with a 14-day trial and you watched these 3 sessions on the blog, your trading abilities at the end of that 10 days, 2 weeks would be far from where you are today. So just take a look at that. Take a look at the material. That's all I'm going to say about that. And come on back tomorrow, same time, and we'll catch you here. Thanks, everybody. Have a great one. We will see you tomorrow. Go get them. As always, until then, take care.